How are you doing? This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave, the founder of the highest paid part-time job in the world, Options Training Academy. And really quickly wanted to shoot out this quick testimonial because this came through my email the other day and it really inspired me. This made me feel better than getting a profit out of the market. It made me feel better than generating another sale, because this is really what I'm here for, is to try to help other people see the light, be able to apply the situations that we've taught them, and then go out in the market and get their own success and build a platform that they can build off of. And especially, when it's a person that I've spoken to one-on-one and we had a conversation about what they needed to do and they went out and did it, it really makes me feel good because they're applying the instructions that I gave them and they're being successful in the market. So we're going to go ahead and read through it. Now, what I want you to understand is this, and I've talked about this before. Many people can't put their face and their name on a result that is going to be monetary. And one of the reasons is because, one, people are looking. We live in very precarious economic times, and many people don't understand that everybody doesn't have the same amount. And then you can have people reaching out to you about what you've done because they feel like, okay, you got a little bit more than me, so then therefore I believe you should be helping me with what's going on. And even though that's very unfortunate, it's just real life. That's why, I know this narrative on the internet that, you need to show me all this irrefutable proof. But the problem is that, one, I don't know you. You could be trying to line me up. And two, I can't put this out in front of everybody. Why? Because I got people looking at me behind what I did, and I don't want them reaching out to me behind what I've been able to do in this market, right? Looking for something. And I think that's something that a lot of people, they have created this narrative that something has to be wrong with what we're doing, to where they're going to try to put us in a bad situation, even though we can't change their mind with any kind of proof we would give them anyway. So I want people to really understand that. So for that crowd, we're going to just X them out, because if a person already thinks they right 100% of the time, you can't change their mind for anyway, just wasting your time. However, this is a young man that reached out to me. We did a one-on-one. I spoke to him. And I kind of explained to him that, if you just lock in on what you're doing and you just stay consistent, you get north of 30 years old and you're going to be able to have everything your way, because you got age on your side. You got youth on your side. And I'm not saying that if you're older than that, you don't have time on your side, but he does have time on his side because of his age. But you're never too old to start. You're never too old to start improving your life. You're never too old, right? And I want people to understand that. Don't look at age as a negative, right? Look at inactivity as a negative, okay? And he talks to me, says, hey, you probably get tons of testimonials, but I'm really appreciative for your content and your straight to the point delivery. And that's one of the ways in which I differentiate myself on this internet. I was raised by people, especially by my father and other people in my family, that just get straight to the point, right? I'm a Floridian, but I was raised by people from South Carolina. They just get straight to the point. They don't do a lot of dancing around the situation. And therefore, when I got on this internet, I didn't want to spend a lot of time doing all these theatrics and doing these cooning and, giggling like girls on the microphone to try to make people, right, be receptive to what I'm talking about. I just wasn't going to do that. That's not what I come from. That's not how I was raised. And I wanted to try to figure out how I could be successful on social media and not get outside of my character just to do it, because the money wasn't that big to me, and definitely the attention wasn't that big to me. So I desired the success. But I came in with rules, regulations, standards that I was going to adhere to. And I made my mind up. I was going to leave the same way I came in, right? There wasn't something they were going to be able to offer me to get me off of that. Now, I'm flexible, but I'm not going to turn into a new person, okay? So he appreciates that. And I attract people that like that kind of delivery. And I push people away from me that want the theatrics, they want the cooning, they want the giggling. I push those kind of people away from me because that's what they're looking for in men. And I'm just not that kind of guy. He talks about the markets have taught me a lot since our last conversation, and that Apple play, I've netted a little above 10K total profit. And I spoke to him. He was really big on the Apple. I told him just stick with it, get consistency with it, because you'll start to really understand how it trades. And so one of the things that we teach is I tell people to pick 5 tickers, right? So I'm giving you some insight from my course. However, I say you don't have to pick 5. You can just pick 1, because you're better being an expert on one company than not being an expert on any company. Because real traders, right, in the real market normally trade one ticker. If a guy trades commodities, he normally trades wheat. He doesn't trade anything else. And that's what people got to understand. If a guy trades copper, right, he trades copper. he may not trade anything else. And that's something I wanted to really get people to understand in this market. If you can focus in on one company, it can put you in a position to be successful. Another thing, he says that he netted above 10K total profit according to combined 1099s from call options in 2021 after buying the course circa summer 2021 and applying the lessons. So I would say really in about 9 months, he was up 10K total profit. Now, the goal that we have, even though it's not a guarantee, is to put you in a position where you can get 20 grand a year out of the market, right? And there's different ways to do that, but that was the goal. Okay, so he's around halfway there in about 9 months. Doesn't mean it's going to take you that amount of time. It may take you less time. It may take you more time, but that's the goal, is to get you to 20K. Because I know if I can get you to 20K, it'll totally change your life, right? Because the average person in America can't make an extra 20K. They can't figure out how to do it. Okay. In the grand scheme of things, this is peanuts to the overall market. And I want you to understand something. This is something else I get people to understand. New York Stock Exchange got about a $70-80 trillion market cap. And I tell people all the time, you and your group could pull out $100 million out of the market this year and nobody will notice it. And because of the liquidity in the market, I can teach you what I know. I can even teach you my strategy. I taught the IPO strategy, right? I taught people about short sellers reports. You're not taking away from my money in a marketplace that is $70-80 trillion. You're not taking away from my money by making 10 grand in the market. You're not taking away from anybody's money. It's unlike if I go to a local real estate market and there's maybe 5 houses that are potentially up for sale and me and 30 other real estate agents are all trying to get those 5 houses under contract. It's a different type of market. It's a different type of market. And people that really don't understand markets in real life, actual markets in real life, won't understand that point. This is not an academic endeavor. We really do this in real life. That's the difference. And one of the things I told people, right, when I started this, and people that know me on Facebook, I said that highest paid part-time job in the world, stock market sharks, we're going to be like UM in the 80s. We're going to do what people say can't be done. We're going to do things that people don't want to see us do. And we're going to win, and people not going to like it, but they just going to have to deal with it. And that's the attitude that we coming with. Everybody that they say is not supposed to be in the market, I'm going to put them in there. I'll put women in the market that weren't supposed to be in the market. I'll put women in the market that's from certain geographical areas that's not supposed to be in the market. They having success. I'll put men in the market that's not supposed to be in the market. They having success. I'll put men in the market from certain geographical areas that's not supposed to be successful. They having success. Everybody they say not supposed to do it, I'm going to get them in there and they're going to have success. Why? Because we the UM of this stock market stuff. Everybody that's not supposed to be successful, we going to do it. And they're not going to have their most success with me. They're going to have their big success once they get from around me. Because the goal of college is to give you a foundation for you to build off of. What made UM different from every other college program for so long is they put guys into the NFL that became Hall of Fame players. They just didn't put guys into the NFL. I'm going to repeat myself. What made them different from so many college programs for such a long time is they put guys in the NFL that became Hall of Famers, and other schools just talked about putting guys into the NFL. It's a difference. It's a big difference. A lot of that got to do with Florida, but it's a big difference, right? And I want you people to understand that. So that was my archetype from the gate. And I got a video on my YouTube talking about that. Therefore, I like the fact that people don't like what we do. That lets me know I'm on the right track. I like that, right? I go to bed with a smile knowing that. And I go to bed with a smile knowing that somebody that's not supposed to get 10 grand out of this market got 10 grand out of this market following a very basic, simple, right program that he was able to absorb and apply, being patient, being consistent, and just following the instructions. And he talks about, it means a whole lot to me because no promotion in corporate would have led to that. What he's saying is that working his job in corporate, it wouldn't have made him an extra 10 grand over the year. That's a fact. He was gunning for one at his job before, and he ended up leaving once they began using the pandemic as a perfect alibi not to auto promotions and raises. A lot of people saw during this pandemic, these jobs started acting funny, right? They started doing weird stuff. I know a guy that quit his medical job because he says that they tried to get him to reuse the personal protection equipment, the PPE stuff. They tried to get him to reuse it, even though it was not reliable anymore because of the amount of use. You understand me? This pandemic changed a lot of people's workplace situation. And that's what I try to get people to understand. A lot of people ran to the internet because of the pandemic. They ran to more entertainment because of the pandemic. A lot of really savvy people, right? And you'll see this with a lot of testimonials. They ran and tried to figure out how to improve their situation, right? So he says, goes without saying, there was losses during those times, which is part of what he's involved in. And that mental challenge is real. Psychology is really the biggest edge to have. Anybody that follows me knows I say over and over and over again, your only edge in the market is your psychology. You don't have another edge. It's not the system. It's not the trading system. It's not a particular piece of software. It's your brain, because your brain is more powerful than any computer. That's why I came in the door telling people the differentiator between me and everybody else isn't I got this crazy system I'm gonna teach you. Isn't that I got all this educational and these people train me and I passed their test. That's not my differentiator, because there's thousands of people that pass that test that can't trade to save their life, right? That's not my differentiator. My differentiator is I understand that your edge is going to be your psychology, and that's what we're going to work on. And you want to know who I learned that from? Go Google a guy named Butch Davis. I keep telling you the format that I'm running. You want to know why I learned psychology and how psychology is the edge for a person in their performance? Go Google a guy named Butch Davis. By being human, I got gritty a few times, and by listening to my guts to not force some narrative at times, the net would have been easily 15K. So he's saying that he probably lost around 5K, right, by getting greedy. And that's part of your psychology. And you got to go through that and learn that, right? Most people destroy their accounts in this market because they don't exit when they down, because they think the trade's going to turn around. They don't respect their stop loss. And when they at profit, they don't take profit. And you just got to learn that, because why? We haven't been taught how to manage capital. We just been taught how to work and give our money to somebody else and let them store our money for us. Therefore, when we get in a position to do it, we don't necessarily know how to make decisions with it, right? So we have to train ourselves how to do it. And we have to sometimes give some money back to the market to learn that. But it's a process. Just like some people got to learn how to diet and exercise properly. And that's also a process. Just checking in and dropping by to let you know your work and your words don't fall on deaf ears. There's plenty of folks like me learning to make plays for real, right? So you want to put there's plenty of folks like me learning to make plays for real. I've only done one trade this year. Red and bear market is not my strong suit. So I'm revisiting those lessons and consuming all I can from YouTube and books to build that comfort with puts as well. The future seems bright. So I want you to understand something. This is not a robot, because I'm really, really good at puts and he's doing really good at calls. But the foundation that he was given through what we're doing allow him to have the success. Understanding how important the psychology is, in fact, probably is the most important thing, allow him to have the success. That's why we implemented that. You don't have to get that through me, but I'm here to tell you that's your edge. Your edge is not somebody's system, in my opinion. It's not your system, because the biggest supercomputer in the world is your brain. Right? So it doesn't matter that you got high frequency trading. That doesn't mean anything. That's not why you're losing in the market, is because of somebody in the speed of a trade. That's something that's sold to you by people that don't understand the market. Right? And if you put them in an auction-based scenario, they'd be blind. Right? They need somebody to walk them through it. What I want you to understand is this. The proof can always be in the pudding. I don't like to brag on myself, but at the same time, I don't downgrade myself. I know the work I put in. I know the curriculum that I created to help people. I know the consistency that I have in making sure that the program is in a certain position to create a good learning environment for people, right? And at the same time, I know for a fact that I'm undercharging for what I'm bringing to the market, right? I know that for a fact, and I've had multiple people tell me that. And I'm really not tripping on it, because I know how to get my money out of the market. And I also know I'm not going to do this forever. I'm going to do this a certain amount of time and I'm going to bounce out, because I will be able to leave this planet saying, you know what? I helped everybody I wanted to help. And everybody else sat around and talked down on people and did this. I was really out here trying to really help folks, because I know the situations that people is in, and I know nobody's trying to help them. Right? I want you to understand something. You don't have to do anything I offer, but I want you to start taking ownership of your economic situation. What I do might not be for you. Trading's not for everybody. It takes a certain type of mindset, right? It takes a certain amount of responsibility. It takes a certain amount of accountability. It's not for everybody. But I want to really encourage you to take your economic situation serious and don't get distracted in 2022. They're going to roll a lot of distractions out, right? To try to disguise from what's going on in the world. Don't fall for it. Make your economic situation. Get with a group of people and y'all make your economic situation important. Stop arguing with these people on the internet about stuff that's not going to add up at the end of the day. You're not going to make $2 arguing with these people. Stop it. And put you and your people that you're running with in the best position to be successful. Y'all learn how to work together and go get y'all some money and go get y'all some situations out here that's going to benefit y'all long term. You feel me? David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. I'll talk to you later.